in. I don't know what all this is, but it's doing something, and we're gonna make it do what it do. Um, man, look, we're gonna pivot. That's what we do. First of all, thank you very much for joining me today and pivoting on today's episode. I did have to push it back 2 days because I was on a filming set, and these conversations are not a conversation that we do pre-recorded, right? We do them live, we do it raw, and we get in there and do it the way God tells us to, right? So that is what we're doing. Um, but before we get started, I know I read part of your bio. I did not read it all because it is so much more to you than just your bio and the words that you've shared, including being a published author of Unconditional Love, One Woman's Journey to Spiritual Freedom. You have your Lifetime Achievement Award recipient for 2024, the 2025 Psychotherapist of the Year with Down for the Underground Media, and a host of many, many more. And we're going to talk about that because you out here shaking things up and shaking lives up and showing up and showing out. But I need
Exactly.
to know. I need to. Oh, I'm loving that background.
I
Um,
had to. I had to put it in there.
yes, but I need to know, how do you introduce yourself to the world every morning?
How do I introduce myself to the world? Before I put my feet on the ground, I love how Dr. Carrie Bryant made this statement, being a disruptor. So before my feet touches the ground, I always tell the enemy, I'm about to disrupt this mental health industry. I don't care how you come at me. I'm going to be very unapologetic because we have been dealing with spiritual diabetes for too long, as
Yes.
well as physical diabetes. And it all stems from not taking care of ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically, as well as spiritually.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I love disrupting some things. I have definitely been disrupting those generational chains that have been passed down from generation to generation, those that have been stuck on us from society, and that was one reason why I reached out and requested for you to join me on this episode for a few different reasons. For one, because you are an awesome advocate in the mental health space. For two, you do a lot with changing the trajectory and family tragic, family trauma, and things of that nature. But you also big on men's health as well, and I love it. Um, so one of the things I want to ask you is, what can okay, let me back up a little bit. I am one of those people that dealt with and suffer with, but a whole lot better with, seasonal depression, right? Right now, people are struggling, right? And people are making it through. Let's jump into that first, and then we're going to go into more of your story.
Okay. Seasonal affective disorder is nationwide. You know, nobody is ever, um, how they say, you're not pretty much immune to it. You
Hmm.
know, um, not to say it in a disrespectful way to any other illness or whatnot, but we all deal with it in some type of capacity. It may
Right,
not be during the holidays, it may be
right.
just doing a different change of a season. I said this on my previous podcast. I didn't do it this Wednesday because I was like, look, I'm going to be on What's in Your Cup. So y'all need to come and join in with me on What's in Your Cup because I'm not doing it on Wednesday. I'm still
Right.
growing into, my new location. But
Yes, we're gonna talk about that too. Yes, go ahead.
yes, yes, yes. But what I explain to individuals is we deal with four different seasons regardless. You have
Mhm.
winter, spring, summer, fall. In the winter time, we have that fall back of season where we're rotating our clocks back an hour. In the springtime, we're springing it forward an hour, but we're not paying attention to our moods. We're not paying attention to our mental health when it comes to those seasonal changes. But just like the season changes, our bodies change as well.
Right.
And if we're not paying attention to those changes, we miss out on either being a student of the season or a teacher of the
Right.
season.
Right.
So when it comes to seasonal affective disorder, of course, we hear people say, well, I was sleeping too much. No, your body's saying it's time for me to recharge. It's time for me to regather. It's time for me to dispel all the things that went on in the previous season so I can
Okay.
get you ready for this season on to the next season. So, but we don't listen to that. We listen to everything else except for our bodies. When our bodies is saying, hey, I need rest. Hey, I'm overly stimulated. Hey, this is going on. The winter time, it's cold outside. You know, it's hot outside. It's raining too much. It's, you
Right.
know, just those different things. And if we're not paying attention to those different things within our bodies, it
Mm-hmm.
tends to mess with our mental health.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you say that with so much grace and just it rolls. So, and I know you're not just talking from your studies. I know you're not just regurgitating from a book. You're talking about life experiences as well.
All the time.
Right. So,
I tell people I went to the school for the books. I mastered it. You know,
right,
I'm
right.
I'm getting ready to PhD it, so I'm finna doctorate too.
Yes,
But
yes.
but
Come on.
the thing of it is, it's all based on people. It is so true. I'm a cliche breaker, but that's one
Okay.
cliche I really have respect for. People resonate when you are relatable more
Yeah.
than they are when you are talkative. I tell people all the time, watch my walk. Don't listen to what I'm saying because I could tell you anything. But
Right.
watch my
Right.
walk and how I do a thing, then you could tell how passionate I am about a situation.
Okay. So when you say you watch your walk, you have not always been this person.
No,
You had you she's like absolutely not.
no, I'm
What
still
was
growing.
um
I'm still growing.
okay. So what was one of those things or what was one of the hardest things that you had to literally dump out of your cup to get to where you are now?
You talking about one?
Okay, whatever you want to share with us. If you want to do a couple or a plethora, one or two, what you got?
That's a session moment.
Oh, we. Well, we don't.
That's that's a session moment. But what I can say is I listen to what is being downloaded inside of me. So I'll know. And I'm very open to when someone wants to, not criticize me because I don't take it as criticism. I
Okay,
learned to when somebody says something to me, I learned how to, pull it apart. I sit it before me in a plate
okay.
and I
That makes sense.
dissect it before I eat it.
Mm, that makes sense. Okay.
I put it on a plate and I dissect it before I eat it. Because if I eat everything everybody says to me, I will be sick for life.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's not, I'm a listener. I listen, but I listen to hear. I don't listen to always respond. And I tell even when I'm in a session with anybody, when you listen to hear, you'll know how to respond and whether or not it needs a response. So if I have to say one thing that brought me to this place, I have to give credit to my divorce
Oh, how
because my
so?
divorce taught me a lot about myself that I would have not known had I been shown myself in that divorce.
Okay. Explain that a little bit because I know now, mind you, I've never been married, so I've never been divorced. However,
Mhm.
I've been around different people who have been married and divorced and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I see everyone goes process is a little different. Some people say they found their self because of it, but then I get those that say that they lost their self with divorce, right? Because they were married for however many amount of years, and their life was wrapped around being that spouse. So now, without being that spouse, they don't know who they are. So
I
why is it such a big difference?
Because a lot of times people see divorce as an end, and
Okay.
it's not an end. Divorce is just you cutting off something that really did not allow you to grow in so many different capacities. It could have been your growth of love. You could have grown in a divorce. I did, because I had to learn that, one, it didn't define me.
Okay.
Two, I had to learn that I didn't love the right way.
Mm.
Three, I had to learn that my mouth, baby, I'm a my ex-husband used to always tell me, baby, you would cut a, and I'm gonna say it like this, how he said it, you would cut a nigga with your tongue and he wouldn't know that he bleeding until next week.
Woo! That's a lot. That's a tough one.
But I thought that I was saying good things. I thought that I was, but what I was is I was pre-narcissist.
Pre-narcissist. Now that's a new one.
Yeah, I was pre-narcissist. I'd be like, baby, you so good. You, yeah, you fine. This, that. And then turn around, he do something, I was eating him alive.
Wow. But the fact that you said you were pre-narcissist, that's a big step for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah. I'm all about telling the truth. I ain't got time to sugarcoat nobody. I'm telling you my story. My story is not going to be everybody else's story. But what I love about where God is placing me is I need to be who I am so he can display what it needs to be seen out here.
Okay.
Because a lot of times we don't want to stand up. We'll say, oh, I'll stand 10 toes down for this. But you won't stand 10 toes down for your healing and for God to display who you really are so he can fix you. So in my in not fixing, because I even say that, I don't like that word. In my correction,
Okay.
because when you fix something, it's temporary.
Oh, okay.
It's temporary.
You're going to have to explain that one because
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, fixing is I only fixed it. How did you fix it? Well, I put some duct tape around it. Well, eventually you're gonna have to go back and really do the work.
Okay.
So I had to do the work. So with
Okay.
me doing the work in that, I had to learn, and I was getting hit hard with scriptures. I was getting hard with statements. And right now, if anybody who sits with me, I'll tell them I stand on the scripture now, Proverbs 14, 1 through 2, where it says, a wise woman builds a house, but a foolish one will tear it down with her own hands.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I was foolish.
But you can say that now. Were you able to see that before?
Oh, no. No, I was never able to say that before. I'm learning stuff about myself right now to this day till I found out with being in a relationship now that I was a runner.
Uh, wait, are you serious?
Oh, yes. Every time he did something, I was ready to go. Even if it didn't look like he was doing something, I was ready to go.
What made you stop? What made you stop running?
The
Or is
people
it
in
still a
my
work in progress?
the people is still a work in progress, but the people in my two. So I have circles.
Okay.
I have a circumference of people, and I teach this. You have your ones, you have your twos, you have your threes, and you have your fours. So my twos are my people that will stand and be like, you know what you doing ain't right. That ain't good. My ones and my twos get all my respect. My threes, you get 50. Fours, don't try it. Don't you even try it. Mm-mm.
1, 2, 3, and 4. So what? Explain this, because that's a new tact, a new
Yeah.
way of looking at it.
Exactly. So your one should always be those who are your day ones. They've always been there. They're not going to change. They're not, and then they're not changing, meaning they're not going to change by giving you the truth.
Okay. Okay.
That could be anywhere from your mom, your dad, your kids, your immediate people,
Okay.
your children. Mom, you was corny the other day, and you don't take offense to it because they're telling you something because they know you. They've
Right.
learned you.
You
They
right.
know how to best approach a situation with you.
Okay.
Your twos are somewhat like your ones, but you don't always have to hear from them to know that, hey, you can hear that voice in your head. Be like, you don't have no business doing that.
I got a few of them. Okay.
Yeah, what you what,
Okay.
what, what you doing? I
Okay.
don't have to call you, but your voice will come in my ear, or the thought will come to my mind, and you be
Okay.
like, you know what? You don't have no business doing that. Why? What you doing?
I got a
What?
few
Why
of
you
those.
here?
Okay.
Okay, so you got
Okay.
those. Those are your twos.
Yeah.
Your threes, you can somewhat hear, or they give you a bit of advice, but if you look at their life, it's nothing like what they talking about.
Whoo. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So why should I take advice from you when you supposed to be married, but you over there? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Now, see, I don't even put them in my circle anymore. I've kind of, at this stage in my life,
Hmm.
I've kind of, you at an arm's reach. We can have a conversation, but nothing you say, I'm not taking in. Because, like you said, I see what you're doing. Your actions and your words not matching up. So,
Right.
okay.
It's okay to have those threes. Those are minor thorns in your side. They're not full thorns. The fours are the full thorns. The fours are the ones that you sit back and you observe,
Okay.
and you make sure that whatever, because what they say don't equate. You be sitting up there talking about make the math equate.
The math ain't
Math
matching.
ain't
Right.
math.
Yeah. Right.
So with those fours are teachable moments for you.
Okay.
Just like a three will be a teachable moment for you. But what you glean from that is what you take to your two and your one, because that should be your safe space.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because one of the things that um, I mentioned in your bio
Mhm.
was the book that you published, The Unconditional Love, One Woman's Journey to Spiritual Freedom. What is that all about?
If you wanted to know how my divorce grew me, that's that book.
Okay, y'all.
If
So
you want to
make sure
know,
you go. Uh-huh.
yeah, if you want to know how that divorce grew me, how it changed my perspective, because I was one, I see it out here now where women are marrying men knowing that they don't need to be marrying that person, but
Okay.
because you can have control of the situation. Not to really throw him under the bus, but my ex-husband was a mama's boy.
Mm,
So
okay.
they gave me all the more ammunition to do what I
And
did.
control. Okay. So let me ask you this, because we talked about divorce. We're talking about divorce and marriage, right? What is Well, first, let me ask you this. In your counseling, because you are a licensed professional counselor,
Yes.
is it family counseling? Is it individual? What part of the counseling spectrum do you specialize in, or is it across the board?
I'm really across the board,
Okay.
because of my experience. Um,
Okay.
and I love opening up when I meet individuals and couples or adolescents, and they look at me, and the first thing I say, can I share something with you? And they be like, yeah. I say, my kids are older than you.
That part.
No, no way. Yeah. How
Hmm.
old are you? I'm 20. My child, I got a kid.
Right,
and
right,
and
right.
then I see this. Okay.
Hmm.
You're not gonna be a mommy, but you're gonna give me the real because
The
you've
real.
already been there.
Hmm.
You and I told him, I said, the best thing about being a mom for me was I grew up with my children. I was a teen mom. I grew up with my children. So things that we talk about now in that openness where they can come and talk to me about things that bother them and we can have conversations. Sometimes I have to say, look, I can't be your therapist, I'm your mama. It's a conflict of interest. And they
Okay.
just laugh. They laugh about it, but it'd be okay.
It'd be okay.
It'd be okay.
So let me ask you this. So, and then I'm actually come back to that statement as well. When it comes to marriage, I've had some conversations with quite a few different people, and there's this thing going around now that people are getting married for business purposes, right? Because they don't want to be alone, or they're doing it so they have someone in the house, or they're marrying because they like somebody but not necessarily loving someone. What is your take on that, or do you see these type of conversations when you're dealing with people on a daily basis?
I'm going to say it like they used to say it back in the days. I shoot straight to the hip.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Okay.
And when I call that spade a spade, it's up to you to tell me I'm wrong. I leave that space for them to tell me, no, that ain't what it is. Okay, well, help me to understand, because I'm just here. I don't know you from, like they say, a can of paint. But I want to know what it is that brought you here, what it is that I can help you not do in this relationship building. Maybe couples therapy, maybe premarital therapy, maybe divorce, all of that. I've seen it all, because again, I've experienced it, and my experience is not going to be that person's experience. But if I can offer some form of neutral conversation to it, then we're going to talk about that, and we're going to have those conversations. And sometimes and I tell them, put everything on the table for me. If it's coming from the front door to the bedroom, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
And the kitchen sink and the backyard. Who cutting the grass? Who not cutting the grass? Who washing the dishes? We going to talk. We going to have real conversation. And I tell them this is a judgment-free zone. Okay. And I make this statement every time. The reason why it's judgment-free, because there's nothing on God's green earth that I have not already done before in my journey besides hard drugs.
Ooh. Okay. So you get real raw and transparent with your clients first and foremost.
Almost definitely.
Okay.
It's in my bio.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It is. And that was one of the things that draw me to you, because you was just like, no, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Like, for real, we're not sugarcoating anything. Exactly. And yeah, so one of the let me get back to it. Hey, Teddy Ray, I see you, sir. One of the things he mentioned, marriage has lost its value. And for those of us that have not yet been married, I actually kind of feel that way, right? Mm-hmm. But then I see those that are having lasting marriages, right? Where they've been married 15, 20, 30 years. And I would ask them, what is the secret to success, right? What are you doing now that these new marriages aren't doing, right? Because they're getting married for the wrong reasons or things of that nature. And one of the things that this older couple, she said, you young folks don't know how to keep your mouth closed. And I was like, what?
Didn't I just give you that scripture?
Right. She said, let me explain something to you. In my day, we have parties to keep marriages together to remind you why you got married.
Community, that's one.
Right. And she said, but you guys right now, this generation, you guys are having divorce parties to try to call somebody out, to bring out all of their flaws, to break them down. But no one is talking about it. I said, okay. She said, and thirdly, quit leaving the house when you get mad. I said, okay, but I ain't married yet. She said, well, hold that in your spirit. When you get mad, when you get married, you don't leave the house when you get mad. You go to another room until y'all talk it out. Oh, okay. So I took that information and I went and talked to some other people in my generation. It was like, yeah, I get mad. I leave the house for 2 or 3 days. Why?
Let me give you a twist on that. The same behavior we do in relationships is the same behavior we do in business.
Yes.
And when I get mad with you, I ain't talking to you about nothing. I ain't got time to talk, and I'll come back and talk to you when I'm ready to talk to you. That's in relationships
Mm-hmm.
across the board.
Mm-hmm.
When I get mad, I'm not talking to you. I'm going to go away for a couple of days. I'm going to not talk to you. I'm not going to do business. I'm not going to support your brand. I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to share your stuff because you done made me mad.
Yep. I see that more often than a little bit. You're absolutely correct.
That's because not just in marriages, we just don't know how to build community no more.
Okay. So
Marriage is it has lost its build value just like community building has lost its value
yeah.
because so many people are all about me, myself, and I when you're
Mm-hmm.
not community. Because I say this when I talk to individuals that work in corporate America. It's
Okay.
sad that we have gotten to this mindset of I want to be a millionaire. I need you to help me get there. But
Mm-hmm.
then I won't help you get there because I'm already there. So I don't need you up here with me.
Because I don't need you there. Yeah.
And
That's
that's how
true.
corporate America is. They bring you
Yeah.
in, you're working to help this person be an individual that can travel the country anytime they want to. They buy houses, boats, and whatever. That's fine because you came up with the idea. But
Right.
if it wasn't for your network and your community, you would not be
You
there.
wouldn't be here. Yeah. And you know what? Let's bring that back around in regards to community, in regards to family community as well. Because one of the
Mhm.
things I started talking about was, the seasonal depression and things of that nature. We are in the thick of holiday season. And just going through my timeline over the last couple of days, people are talking about they're getting triggered thinking about the family dinners, right? That's another form of community that's no longer there. What would you tell those people, self included, that's trying to do things differently, right? Without going to the family functions because you're tired of hearing the toxic conversations, you're tired of being picked on, or whatever the case may be, or even for some, the family fights that always happen, right?
Mhm.
To me, that's also a community, but we also get thrown into that's your family, that's your blood. You're supposed to stick with that. You don't have nobody like family. To me, that's not necessarily the case. Some of my closest family members are those that are not blood related.
Mhm.
What do you tell those that are dealing with that, for the first time or trying to get through that right now?
I had a episode talking about that. Let's
Okay.
talk at the table. That was my Thanksgiving episode on the podcast.
Okay.
Having uncomfortable conversations around family. I, for one, and I'm being transparent and honest, I have not been around my family.
Mhm.
Some I have, some I have not. And it's all within the growth of
Okay.
in the thick of things. I have family
Okay.
outside of family, but I say this and I mean it, no pun intended. The same distance it takes for me to drive to your house is the same distance it takes for me to drive. It's the same
Right.
thing. People, oh, you live too far. Well, it takes me the same amount of gas and travel to get to your house.
Right.
What's the
Right.
difference? Why do I always have to come to your house for family gatherings? Why is it always about your house that we gather at the most? I get it. It was grandma because that
Right.
was the matriarch. Of
Right. Exactly.
the matriarch was like, "Hey, you better be here at 12 o'clock. We gonna eat. You ain't here. We
No
ain't
questions
eat
at
no
right.
more." Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, it
Right.
wasn't no problem. And all that family fighting and stuff like that, grandma wasn't having that. I wish you would. She had that look on her face like, I wish you would.
And everybody sat down.
Exactly.
We don't
And if
have
you
grandmas
if
like
you
that no
did have that, you went outside and she didn't know nothing about it. Because if she did, she was with them slippers and that moo on her way outside
more.
the
Baby.
door.
Yep.
Y'all gonna get away from here with all that stuff that you got going on,
Yeah.
or we gonna have some problems. But here's the thing: people wanted to be the matriarch
Right.
of the grandmother, but didn't know how to keep the community together
Go on. You're
because
right.
it became about them. Oh, I act more like mom than you did, or I act more like grandma than you did. No, no. I
Yeah.
can remember even having my kids. I sat up there and looking at everything. I said I wanted my own children so we can have our own family reunion because this
Yeah.
is just unreal.
And you're right. Because that's what I can listening to what you're saying right now, and I'm gonna have to go find that podcast, that episode, because that's when things changed in my family. When
Yeah.
my grandmother gained her wings, because that's really when I stopped doing the family. I did a few after that, but it was like it ain't the same. The conversations are different. The drama it just wasn't for me. So I started doing things differently. And one of the things, I never stopped my kids from going.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always given them that opportunity. I want you to go. I want you to have your own experience, but mama gonna do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Mama gonna change the narrative and do things differently. And so can you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a lot of sense.
And then too, you have those who family pushes you out of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by push you, you're no one's ever. I don't like the disclaimer, black sheep. I don't like that
Why?
because first of all, you're not a sheep. You're not walking around here to my back. One,
Okay.
and not everybody's black. So that means there's a darkness to your life that you feel like everybody is secluding you from.
Okay.
When nobody's is secluding you from anything, you're secluding yourself. What
Right.
it is that we all, and I have to say this, we all are different and we all bring something different to the table.
Right.
But when your differences don't make the same with everybody else in the family, that's when they push you away. And it's okay to be
Mm-hmm.
different. It's okay to be your unique self. You may not be there. Grandma may have told you growing up, baby, you different.
Yeah, she did.
Be different.
She did.
Be different. Allow them to push you. I love my family. I do. My mom
Mm-hmm.
and my dad's side. I love them, love them, love them. Would do anything for them. Can call me at any moment and I will do whatever I can. But at the end of the day, I still have to remember that I'm not a black sheep. I'm just different.
And different is okay.
It is okay.
Different is okay. Different is what makes the world go around. I used to tell people that all the time. Because if we were all the same, we'd be one boring place.
Exactly. I am the cayenne pepper. If I gotta be.
A little spicy. Okay.
Because I tell people in a minute, you don't know my mama and my daddy. But
Right.
they
Right.
do. They remember my mama and my
They
daddy.
remember. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's amazing when you can be different. Family is good because it was created. Family was created. Family is good.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, be your different self. Be your unique self.
Right.
Because when it's time for it to come together, it'll happen. I don't even like to. Let me tell you why I go to funerals when it comes to family.
Okay.
Because I just want to hear. I really want to hear the 2 minute thing. And if I could say something, I would. I'd just be excited to hear people say the stuff that they say that you couldn't even tell that person when they were alive.
Really?
Because I just be wanting to jump up and say, why you didn't say that before?
I can see you doing that. I really can.
I got in trouble before because this pastor stood up there and I was at a funeral service and I learned different things happen when it comes to the black and brown community when it comes to funeral service. We
Right.
the only one that would drag everything out.
Yes, we do.
But when that pastor stood up there and said, we all gonna go this way one day, or and I sat up there and I said it out loud and I said, no, I won't.
Are you serious?
I got in trouble. I was married at the time. say, you just embarrassed me. I say, no, he embarrassed us. I ain't got to go through them. Who said that I want to be, y'all to sit up here and have somebody lying over me? I ain't been to this church. That pastor don't know nothing about me. He don't know my life like that. So I told my kids, I said, look, y'all didn't know me when my mom gave birth to me. Y'all go have dinner. Just take the insurance money, go have dinner, set me on fire, burn me, cremate me, and just let me be. Because I don't eat bugs, so I don't want no bugs eating me. So that's the whole thing. That's the silly side of me. What?
You know,
What's your side?
I can't with you. Daddy Ray say black sheep or outcasts still the same. Okay, I can take that.
I gotta beg to differ.
You okay?
I'm a
disruptor. Be different. Okay.
I'm a disruptor.
Okay.
And however, you can be a black sheep in your family because you were a chain breaker in the family. Stop taking on these titles.
Okay.
A black sheep, black, dark sheep. That's not you. Outcast. So you were demonic and they just cast you out?
Oh, that's another way of looking. I never looked at it that way.
Stop these titles. You're not an outcast. You're different. You are different. You bring something different to the table. You've offered your flavoring as a child. From the time you were a youth, where your parents had you go in there, you did all you could when grandma was alive. You seasoned the family like you needed to. The next step for you is to go and season somebody else who needs your flavoring. It don't have to be your family. You're not black sheep and you're not an outcast. Nobody's casting you. Now, if there's an exorcism that went on in your family, they had to cast you out. Let me know.
Then there's something different.
That's something different.
So what Monica said, being a disruptor is what you are.
Exactly.
Being a chain breaker. Okay.
I have to.
I disrupted some things. I have.
Yeah. And the reason why you disrupted that thing, because you had to break that generational loose. Yeah. That noose from around your neck. No, I will not have the behavior of my grandmother. No, because grandma could have been, baby. I know some grandmothers that were firecrackers.
Baby, look, mine's one of them, boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So disrupted. Hey, I don't want my kids around Uncle Lulu because Uncle Lulu is or Aunt Susu because Aunt Susu is the same way as Uncle Lulu. So no, I want my kids to see life differently. I want my kids to experience things differently. I want my kids to be able to not look back and say, I struggled as a kid.
Yeah, right.
I'm okay with disrupting. I'm okay with my kids living differently. My daughter's in California. My son was military. I got a son who we found out had a heart condition. And in that, I advocated for my son. I have a daughter who's dyslexic, but she's lefty. She's ambidextrous. I poured into my kids because I didn't want generational patterns to follow them to where they can continue to do the same thing. So yeah, I'm a disruptor. I'm not an outcast. I'm not a black sheep. I'm none of that because that's all negative. I'm nothing negative. I'm all positive.
Oh, I like that. Okay, that is definitely a different perception and a different outtake and look on it. And I love that. And thinking of changing perceptions, you out here shaking things up in these streets.
I got to.
You shaking things. You have a few different events that are coming up, and I will, after the show, I will come back and actually post your flyers with different information. But tell us about some of the events that you have going on, and if they're just local to where you are, or if it's something that's available as virtual as well.
Okay, so everybody knows, if you follow me on social media, I've been talking about groups. I'm going to be conducting different forms of group now that I have my new location in spring.
Yes, congratulations. We like brick and mortars. Come on.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So,
I was a little excited for you.
I'm like, God, do it. Do it for me. Because I told him if he didn't do something, I was going to have to open up a strip club. But anyway.
As long as they got a therapy session in the back, we'll be all right. But
that's what it was called. It was called, Make It Drift therapy service. But anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
I have to laugh because there were a time where I didn't.
You didn't. Okay.
I didn't because I was like, man, how do I handle this? Because I really felt alone where I was, but alone with my thinking, not with.
Okay.
I'm not lonely because I know how to entertain myself. I would go and watch the Discovery Channel or Home Designer Channel and think I could DIY something and bust out laughing at myself. But anyway, that's a little lighter note.
Hey, we're gonna have to talk about that on a later day, but go ahead.
So the name of the company, everybody has already known about Why He Can't.
Yeah.
And Why He Can't, we're actually like Sam's with Walmart and Kirkland's, because the name brand that they have in a store. Why He Can't is our main corporation. Okay. We now have Therapeutic Escape Space, and that is our therapy side. And we also have Color Me Stigma Free, which is our nonprofit side. Mm-hmm. So this coming January, we were supposed to do a You Can't Shake Me event. But what that is going to be our Painting Your Trauma on a Canvas. That is January 24th. And it's going to be here in spring. There will be different sessions, and it's quaint. It's not anything big. I'll have two different. I'll have a morning, and then I'll have an afternoon, and then I'll have an evening. So there's three different. It's $25. It's going to come with every supply that you need. All you got to do is bring yourself. Okay. That's it. You just bring yourself. You're going to have the canvas. You're going to have the paints. You're going to have everything that you need. And it's all about building and bridging community. So if you can come in the morning time, if morning time fits you, then that's fine. So it's going to start at 11. That's morning. That's kind of like brunch.
Brunch, right.
And then the afternoon will be 2. And then the evening time will be 6. So it's all about building community and getting to know people outside of what you can normally think that is not experiencing trauma. Because we're normalizing talking about trauma and mental health. Right. Then in February, on February the 22nd, that's one day, we're back to doing the For the Love of Basketball and Mental Health. It's all about mental health, getting out there, playing the game. It's all adults. So I will have paramedics.
You trying to say we need to make sure we ready, good and stretched out?
I need you to stretch, pop, lock, and drop it if you got to. I need you to stretch it out. But it is a family event. It's talking about mental health awareness within the community, bridging that gap that we have, that everybody feels like mental health is a stigma. We're breaking that stigma. We're tearing it down because so often than not, we are not seeking mental health services because we're too afraid, and I'm going to say it, we're too afraid to see the reality of you've been lied to all your life.
Yep, that reality check. Yeah.
You've been lied to all of your life.
Yeah.
Somewhere in some capacity, you have been lied to. That it's okay to keep things behind closed doors, but you're suffering on the inside. Yeah. It's okay to be around family members. And it is. And I've learned that in my maturity, that people that wrong me and hurt me, may it be family, friends, whatever, I can still sit in a room with you and not feel in no type of way.
Right. I'm there now. I can do that now. Yeah.
I can sit in a room with you, have a burger with you, look you straight in your eyes, knowing you know that you did what you did and not feel a certain type of way. Because you know why? When I leave, when I finally go to sleep, I'm going to be asked, how did I treat you? Rather than how did I defend myself?
That's a tough one though. That's a tough one.
But until you can learn how to love people unconditionally, flaws and all, the maturity is not there.
So how and I know we're talking about your different events and we're going to get back to that. How can you or how can someone get to that point, right? Someone has just wronged me and they did me dirty. They've hurt me mentally, emotionally, all the things. Yeah, I forgave them as much as I possibly can. However, I don't want to be around you,
Mhm.
right? Is it still, how do you set that type of boundary, especially when it's, someone in the family, right? How do you set that boundary to where they're going to be at these different events and you like these different events, but you don't want to be around this person, even if you're still healing, I can forgive you, but I ain't 100% healed yet. That if you sneeze at me wrong, you may catch these hands, right? How would someone deal with that, or what would you tell them how to work that out?
Everybody processes things differently, and
Okay.
how they approach a thing is differently. But at the end of the day, you are not, and we say we want to be Christ like,
Mm-hmm.
but until you can get to that space, and I had to learn this from a pastor that I was under. If somebody can walk in a room that offended you and you cringe, they have still control over you.
Mm, that's true. They would. They would. Okay.
So why would I want you to continue to have control of my joy, my peace? If I'm going to hold my food down because you're sitting in the same room, if I'm going to be nervous to even go by you, that's control. I can't have you control me like that.
Okay. So
I can't.
something like that those are signs that you still need to go see a therapist. You need to go talk
Yes,
to
you need to.
somebody to work through that trauma or that whatever that moment is.
Right. You do. That when you find things that are triggering you so badly, when you walk inside
Mhm.
of a room and you see that person, they can be in a grocery store and you avoid them to go down a different aisle. They still have control of you.
They still have control. That's good. That's good. Okay.
But when you can sit there and say, hey, I'm not going to allow you to change my safe space for myself. I forgave you, but you know what? Even with that, me forgiving you, I can find in my peace. True enough, it takes a minute to forget.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying to
Right. No, no,
force it.
no.
But what I'm saying is when that trigger happens, you've given them power over you.
Right. Okay.
So what do? You go and find somebody, hey, I came across a cousin who used to beat me up all the time. And every time when I pass by a tree, because they used to beat me up by a tree, I get triggered. Well, let's confront that.
Okay. So
Let's
you peel
confront
back
it.
the layers.
Because I want you to be able to walk to a tree. And I ain't asking you to be a tree hugger, but I want you to be at peace when you
Peace
walk
with that
past
tree.
that
Yeah.
tree. Because that tree didn't do nothing to you.
Right.
Because even oh man, you got me. I had to ask this question. When you think about the person who has wronged you,
Mm-hmm.
who has done something, I'm a disruptor. It's
Mm-hmm.
season. You're going to feel these feelings during the season.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody done something to you that offended you or done something to a way that make you feel a certain type of way, who's really the victim?
I am if I'm still letting it live rent free in my head.
In some cases, you both are. One, because that person never got healing from whatever that caused them to be in that behavior.
Okay.
And then you, because you're allowing those triggers to happen. Now, if you got healed from it, then that person is still the victim.
Because they never got healed.
Never got healed.
I don't think I know I've never looked at it that way. So I can only imagine how many other people have never looked at it in that magnitude. Yeah, okay.
That's $1 billion question. I need my $1 billion, Consuela. I need my
Right. I see another I don't care if it's an ebook, a pamphlet, I see another talk coming your way. That's a conversation all by itself, like for real.
Come on, because
That's
I've been through it all. And
maybe that's a topic, because you have a podcast too.
Yes.
But maybe that's a topic to put on your calendar for your podcast to do a deep dive in, because I can only imagine how deep that conversation can go.
Oh, I got 2 conversations that's going to be real deep. I got an ugly one, and I'm going to share with your audience.
Okay.
Seasonal affective disorder can come from anything such as the loss of a loved one, just the same as grief. You're dealing with different things, different seasons of your life you're trying to navigate through. During the seasons, especially during the holidays, you want to remember mom, you want to remember dad, you want to remember auntie, you want to remember grandma, you want to do all of these things that are going on. Remember I told you I'm a disruptor, right?
Right.
Is it really grief or is it guilt?
Why would it be guilt though?
It's spelled the same way. Grief is grief, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guilt is GUI. Is it LT? Tell me spell guilt.
Yeah.
But both have 5 syllables.
Yeah.
A lot of times we see individuals when they're grieving and you're losing that loved one, and you talk about it and you have joy when you talk about how grandma made you feel, grandma, mama, this, that, and the other. And then you have those who, when grandma passed or mama passed, I want to jump inside of the casket. Why you didn't do what you needed to do when she was here?
Okay, so it can be both, a little bit of both, or one or the other, but you have to be able to distinguish your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we ain't gonna turn this into a whole session. We ain't gonna do that.
Events. You want to know more about me and what I do? You can follow me on all my social media platforms. I am unapologetic. My name is Morticia Sherman. I'm very unapologetic. I've been wanting to do this since I was the age of 14. When I said my parents are going to be my first clients on my couch. But anyway, it's the truth. It is the sole truth. It is the truth. And especially my experience being I attempted suicide twice. So didn't complete it, but one when I was 14 and the other when I went through the divorce thing, because I was like, ooh, I have nobody else to control. But anyway, but what we're doing is I'm bridging that gap. We have to break those generational patterns. We have to get into flipping the rugs. I tell people I'm like Jesus. I flip tables and rugs because we're going to get this healing done, and we're going to get it done in the right way. And I want you to be able to walk away with a takeaway from when you're sitting in a session with me. I'm not always talking. In the beginning, I will. But after that, I'm not always talking, because if I'm talking, I'm healing.
Right.
But if you're talking, no, you need to tell me what you're here for. So that's why Painting Your Trauma on the Canvas is January 24th, and it's going to continue. It's going to skip in February, but every third Saturday, and sometimes second and third Saturday of the month, we'll do the Painting the Trauma on the Canvas.
Okay.
But Color Me Stigma Free, Why He Can't, and Therapeutic Escape Space are hosting these events, and the other one is For the Love of Basketball and Mental Health. That's going to be on February 22nd. I'm thinking I want to do a sock hop on the 21st. Have you seen that? When was the last time you did a sock hop?
I can't even remember.
Okay. So I thought about that. throwing that twist. We come out, break out, celebration, celebrating the event and whatnot, just bringing in a party, just celebrating mental health, because that's a lot of people don't do that. People don't celebrate that. They will sit there and moan and groan about losing somebody, but you can't celebrate their life while they're here. Right. Tell them that you love them now
while they're here. Yeah,
exactly. Because I get that when people say I don't want to be here. Why? Because I feel like nobody loves me. I need you to love yourself first.
Okay.
But more.
We're definitely going to share after this. I am definitely going to come back and make sure I share all of your flyers for all of your upcoming events. If you're listening to the sound of our voices, make sure you go out and check the website whyhecant.com and check the spelling on the screen. I love it. It's definitely spelled differently and it caught my attention. Before we end today's session, or today's conversation, because it definitely wasn't a session, because I know your session goes down to the core. If the people did not hear or do not remember anything else that you have said, what would be one or two takeaways you want them to remember from you?
One thing that I always say at the end of my podcast: when you know better, you do better, and you respond differently. Mm-hmm. When you know what is bothering you, what is triggering you, what is causing you to get offended, then you know better. And then you can respond differently. You don't have to respond negatively.
Right.
Secondly, stop allowing life to live you and live life.
Ooh, I like that. Stop allowing life to live you and live life. Well, y'all heard it from the counselor's lips to your ears. This has definitely been a pivotal moment and a pivot show like no other. This is how we're definitely going to end our 2025. We will be back in 3 weeks for our anniversary show, y'all. So make sure you stay tuned for that flyer. Martisha, I want to thank you for joining us on this Pivot Show time. Thank you for your time with us. And again, guys, make sure you go like, follow, and share her all across social media. And if you check out our Facebook page, it will lead you to all of her other social media pages, I promise you. And then make sure you check out her website, because she got some amazing events coming up. And I need to put it out there. She is a licensed professional counselor in all 50 states. Is that correct?
Not quite. I'm getting there.
Almost. So, of course, she does have a brick and mortar here locally, but check out her website, because she does take insurance. She may be in your state already. Make sure you look her up. And I am big on finding a therapist and a counselor. If you can find one that look like you, by all means, right? But you need one that you can communicate with, as she say, unapologetically. Until next time, guys, thank you for joining us on this episode of What's in Your Cup Conversations, and we will see you in 2026. Until next time, have a good night.
Good night.
Conversation.